back everyone to another episode of Rick's Gadgets. Today I want to cover the Adafruit Arduino weather station. And what this is it's a small TFT display that uses an Arduino board and with Wi-Fi built in to get you the time and your weather from your local area. It uses the Weather Underground connection you'll have to sign up for and get an ID, so it will link it so when it's your account, you can kind of specify what area you want. And once you get all that up and running, you got a nice little weather station that displays. It runs off of a USB, or like here I've got a battery inside if you want to mount it somewhere different. So anyway, what I wanted to do is, Adafruit did a great job on their video. They showed you the full build, how to program it, how to assemble it, everything. There were a few little things though that kind of tripped me up, and what I wanted to do was fill in a little bit more with you guys, because if it caught me, it could catch someone else. So what I want to do is I want to cover a few of the little issues that I had. One was making sure I had the right board assigned to the Arduino IDE build. I'll show you how to set that up. Also, I wanted the USB at the bottom because I have it sitting on the counter and the screen was rotated. So I'll show you how to rotate the screen if you want the USB to be at the bottom and versus at the top is where it would have been. And a second issue I had was when the power was removed and plugged back in, I would just get a white screen. I wouldn't get any display. So I had to put a line in the code to fix that. So I'm going to show you that little piece as well. And then, of course, I had to 3D print the case. The case, if you don't have a 3D printer, there are companies out there you can send the files to and they will print them for a small fee. If you have trouble, let me know. I can work out probably something and 3D print it for you and send it to you. So just drop me a comment if you do have troubles finding somewhere or to get the case printed. So, but anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the components, and then I'm going to show you the steps in the code that I took to fix some of those little issues. So stick around. So what I want to do is show you a little bit about the components. So the first part is the TFT Touchscreen interface. So the board is going to come without these headers installed, without these pins. And what you'll have to do is you'll have to find a, if you don't have a breadboard, you can plug them into here and solder them so that way they're straight, because you want those to be straight and lined up so they'll fit in there. So if you don't have a breadboard, I suggest putting the pins down in here and then putting the board on and soldering it. That's just a quick little tip if you don't have a breadboard handy. And like I said, this comes with the Wi-Fi chip built in. It has a plug where you can put a LiPo battery, a 3.7 volt battery, and it has a micro USB connector and a reset button. So next is the just the battery. I did not buy the Adafruit battery, and one word of caution is if you get your battery from another supplier, the wires will need to be swapped, because the way this thing is wired, the plus is on the left and the minus is on the plus is on the right, minus is on the left. So so you'll have to switch the wires. And then you will take the case, and the way the case is going to go is there's the pins on the corner of the board that just fit in, and it's not a perfect fit. I would recommend gluing these, and then you just take the case and it goes in like this. And what it allows you to do is it allows the USB to be recognized there. It does have a micro SD slot, so they left a hole in the slot for that. And then there's just there's an option in the video that Adafruit put out, to put a switch on here to turn it off and on, that's where the switch mounts there. So, but that's it for assembling, and it's ready to go after that. So a quick note on the Weather Underground setup. Don't be alarmed when it says purchase an API key. What you want to do is you're going to search Weather Underground API, and it's going to bring you up to the Weather Underground API, and it's going to bring you to where you can purchase a plan. What you want to do is you want to pick the Stratus plan, which, as you can see down here as a developer, is free. And in our code, we're going to have it set up to ping every 10 minutes anyhow. And if you select that plan, you see you'll get a monthly pricing of $0. So what you'll do is you'll purchase the key. There's no credit card or anything involved. You just do a purchase, and then it will come up and it'll show you your API key that you will then use in the software itself. So just wanted to point this out so you're not confused as to what plan to pick. You want to pick the Stratus plan. So the next thing you're going to do is when you go and download the software from the Adafruit site, what you want to do is you want to unzip that and unzip it in your documents, Arduino library, and unzip it in the libraries directory. That way it'll have all the files needed associated with the project there in that one spot. Pretty simple on that. So once you get the software downloaded and unzipped into the Arduino library, let's go into the actual editor here and set it up. So the first thing we got to do is go into File, Preferences, and here we're going to add the additional boards manager. This will give you the option to pick the Huzzah ESP8266 board. So we'll put that in the URLs. I'll give this URL in the description below. We'll do OK. And what you're going to have to do is stop the IDE, close it out, and come back in even after you've copied the unzipped everything, because it will rescan the library. So you have to close it out, come back in for it to pick up everything. So once it's in there, you're going to come up and we're going to go to the boards, and you're just going to go down here to the additional boards, and you want to pick the Adafruit Feather Huzzah, and that is it. It'll come up. All these should be the defaults. The only thing you'll have to pick is your port. So when you plug it in, it'll come up listed under your COM ports, or you can go to your device manager and see which COM port it comes up under and pick it. And that is it for setting up the IDE. Now when you come into the IDE and you open up the Weather Station color, so you'll just open up the File Explorer and go to where you copied the code and just click on the Weather Station color. It's going to come up and look like this. The first thing we want to do is go to Settings, and in here there's a couple of things you might want to change. If you're going to use a USB, make sure you set this to false. That way the screen will stay on all the time. If you do want to use the battery, you can set the wake up time. They had it set for 10 seconds. I was playing around and just had it on for a long time, but I just set it to false. That way it's set and done. The second thing you're going to do is you're going to come down here and set your location. Here you're going to enter your Weather Underground API key, and I discussed that earlier, and you'll just put in your location. And that's it for the Settings tab. Now on the Weather Station tab, everything should be pretty much straightforward here. The only thing we're going to do is if you want to rotate the screen, there's a couple little lines you need to put in here, and the first one is we want to define a constant, and we're just going to call it rotation, and you can set it a value 0 to 3. 0 is vertical, 2 is 180 degrees, you know, and of course 1 and 3 are 90 and 270. So that's the first change, this for the screen rotation. The second part is we actually have to go in here and set this one command here, TFT.setRotation, and that'll flip it. And that's it for setting the screen. And like I said, I'm going to leave these lines of code in the comments below, so you can just cut and paste them. The only other thing was the fixing the white screen. So what you want to do is under the weather station, you're going to go down to right after your Wi-Fi manager and your void setup. And what you want to do is add a delay. And this is the line that I put in, just a delay of 10 milliseconds really. And that fixed the white screen issue. So that's a simple fix. And that's it. And you're ready to compile the code, and you'll check the checkbox up here. I do have mine set up to have an error because this is a common error and some people may not understand it. If you get an error that says the include and it gives you the name of the library is not there, that means that the software can't compile and find that library in your file directory. So for example, in my library here, it's I just renamed it to test. So I have it in my Arduino libraries, but it can't find this one. So if I come in and just rename this, and now it'll compile. And that's just one of the little issues that I ran into in the beginning, and I had a hard time figuring it out when I first got into the Arduino program. And it's pretty simple, but some people may not understand, so I figured I'd throw that in there and just show you that's a quick fix. So if you can't find the include libraries, the editor is not finding that specific one in your path. So you can search the name, see where it's at, and move it into the libraries. It doesn't have to be in any file structure. It just has to be in that libraries folder. And once you're done, you'll just do the compile and plug in your Huzzah board and just upload the text. And that's it for the programming. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and it's been a real fun build for me. It was the first one where I've used really relied on the 3D printing aspect as well as the hardware aspect and bringing it together for a nice, build. It was a little difficult there in the beginning. Like I said, I had those few issues with the screen and trying to get that resolved, but overall it turned out to be a good build. Thank you everyone for sticking around. As you can tell, I'm a new channel and I'm trying to grow my subscriber base. So what I've been trying to do is get people interested in my videos, and if it's something that they really like, to come back. And as an appreciation for the ones that have already subscribed and have watched my videos, what I want to do is kind of do a little quick giveaway. So in this video, like I'd mentioned, there were as a component to have the case 3D printed. I know not everybody's got a 3D printer, and what I would like to do is the first person to comment on this video that states I would like one, I'm going to send them a 3D printed case. And kind of as an ongoing thing, when I hit 100 subscribers, I'll randomly pick someone in the comment section that states they want one. And I'll do it for 1,000. So, like I said, please like, subscribe to my channel, share it if it's something that you feel like you have friends that would be interested in it, and have a chance to win a 3D printed case. I can do it in several different colors. I have silver, white, black, red, yellow. So just let me know. So thank you, and thank you for coming back, and I appreciate it.